Thank you all for coming and watching. This is Brandon, and let's continue with the 9Q series. Okay, just gonna try and keep our groups nice and strong like normal. Gonna enclose our corner, take some points. White could approach this, or could take his own, but letting black get 2 enclosures seems really good. And I already have 1 enclosure, so I don't think I need to be greedy and try to go for 2. I think I'm going to go ahead and play this one. I'm playing low because there's really no chance of me building anything in the center, and it's the same for white. So if I play here, white would get a nice corner, and I would have the outside, but not really any points. So I prefer to play the low one so that it's kind of keeps the points more even. Kind of make a base here. Normally instead of this one, you would want to play high or the Kasumi. Just going to go ahead and make this nice and strong. And it's also threatening to attack this if he lets me play here. So he should probably have done something else besides this one. Like he could have played at the corner to make it more solid. He also could have approached here, which is pretty big. The only downside of me playing here is that this is low, so I can't build too much. But if I get to attack and build a wall here, then it doesn't matter much. Okay, so he attaches here. Here we're not going to try and kill it. We're going to let him connect up to his stones, and we're just going to try and stay nice and strong on the outside. If you try to kill it, then you end up getting cut off and weak, and you don't want that. Just going to connect nice and solid. So yeah, he reduced our points here, but we didn't have that much to begin with. We do have this cutting point here, but because we can push through and attack this, I don't think it's that big of an issue. We're just going to go ahead and attack this. Okay, and so instead of defending his weak group, he tries to, I'm not sure if he's trying to counterattack here, or if he's just trying to stop me from making points here. If we jump out or do anything like this, you can connect under, so you want to prevent that. And then this is also helping protect the cut here. And also splitting his groups in 2, so it's letting us do lots of things here. Okay, not sure what he's trying to go for here. Maybe he's just trying to cut here and then threaten to Hane here and then connect under. But we're just going to play nice and solid. Make sure we don't get cut there. And here we actually have kind of a cool ladder. So if we play here and he cuts, we can push through. And then he goes here, we go here, and then it's a ladder. Play nice and solid. So now he can cut us off, but we should have more liberties than him. So he's trying to cut us off, so now we're going to connect. If he comes back here and lives, we got nice and strong on the outside, and he made almost no points there. And then this got cut off and can be attacked. Okay, so he's threatening to either connect this way or come back here and live. So playing here is probably a little bit too slow unless we can kill with this one. But because we're not really sure if we can kill this or not, we'll just assume it's alive. And we'll focus on the bigger side, which is the outside. So we can play something like this to take away this base. But this side is not the biggest side. Playing in a corner enclosure is bigger, or approaching, or we can also invade this side. But if we look at points, even if he plays a move and gets all the points here, if we get this corner and this corner, black probably has more points, and then we have all the potential center here to make more. So I'm not going to worry about invading just yet. And now that we have this one, playing a move over here also becomes big. And we just want to surround this. And this is the technique to do that. Where if he blocks here, we go here. And then it's really hard for him to get out with I shape. Unless he does this one, but then it just seems really nice. Because now we're building another wall over here, and he's not really getting much on this side. And here we can connect, and then he doesn't have 2 eyes here. So he can get out into the center if he wants. I'm going to go ahead and Hane here, because I think the outside is more important. And even if he Ataris here and then lives here, we can push through Atari here to cut this off later, which is pretty big. But I think building this side is bigger. And also connecting our groups up so that this doesn't end up becoming weak. Which it looks kind of hard to do that, but it doesn't have 2 eyes yet, so if it gets cut off, then it might get attacked. Okay, so I guess he's trying to create some more cutting points, or just trying to be a little bit greedy and get a little bit more here. But he has a lot of cutting points that he has to worry about. We're just going to play nice and solid and let him worry about either fixing this, or if he tanukis, then later we can do lots of stuff over here. Okay, so he fixes. It's kind of slow, but he kind of needs it. And there's still this weakness over here to cut these stones off if he tries to cut here. Now we're growing this center area, and we don't want to let him grow this area. So this seems like a good time to do a shoulder hit, because we really want this center area. Okay, then we're just going to keep going to build the center. And then these stones don't really help with the corner because it's a little bit too far. Just this one, which there's still weaknesses in the corner here. We're going to play this one to see if he lets us reduce this area, or if he's going to jump out into the center to try and reduce this. And if he defends here, then we can try and complete our area here with something like this. Okay, so he does defend, and we're going to try and take as much of the center as we can. Then he's probably going to jump in, and then we're going to have to attack it. Just going to attach here, because then if he tries to hane, we can play here to cut it off. So this would be worth more points because it stops him from haneing here. But then we have some weakness points in the center, which this is our main area we're going for. So we want to have the least amount of weaknesses as possible. So letting him reduce our corner a little bit more is not that big of a deal. And we can also do this one to try and fix it a little bit more. And then again, similar to this shape over here, he has cutting points that he has to worry about. And this corner still has some weaknesses in there. Okay, play it here. So we can hane here, because when he goes here, we can Atari here and capture the 3 stones. Though if he just simply connects, we're probably going to just play a move over here somewhere to try and, I think this is our last weak point for white to get in. So you can play a move like this. But because we can like push through, it damages his corner. But if we can get a move over here to complete it anyway, then it doesn't matter as much. Connect solidly here, and if he captures, we get to capture 3 stones. And if he connects, then we go here later. Like right now, it wouldn't be big enough because this would be bigger. Okay, so he connects, and this is just too small. Like this is only worth, I don't know, maybe 10 points. I don't know, I'm not good at counting. And then we'll just complete this area. So now he's kind of forced to jump in here because this is just too big. So he can make a base on either side. But I think if we just take the center, we should have more than enough. So if we just get the center here, we have about 65 points. And white also has about 65 points if we give him all this area, which he doesn't have because we can cut here and cut off some of it. And if we give white this move, which he doesn't have yet. And if he lives here. So black should be pretty far ahead. So we're going to protect the cut here so he can't cut this off. And if he tries to run out here, then he's just not alive. If he lives here, makes a few points, we're still going to make a few extra while we surround it. So that'd give us more than the 65 here. And then he can only take one of these. And then he still has weaknesses in the corner here. Okay, so he tries to poke through here, and we're just going to cut it off. So he has to choose between jumping in here or letting me cut off this stone. And then he's still not 100% alive on the top. So playing end games around here are pretty big. Between this move and this move, this one's probably bigger. Because if we cut this off, then we don't have to worry about him playing around here. Which I'm pretty sure we can just cut it off anyway. But we have some weakness here we have to worry about. It connects, and we have the weakness here. So we want to defend that. His biggest move is probably to play around here. He's going to play a peep first. And tries to push through here, which this is not Sente. It does kind of help protect his corner, but there's still something there, I'm sure. But if he tries to go here, I can just cut it off, and it should be strong enough. So we're going to come over here to cut this off, so we don't have to worry about the Hane here. Okay, and you normally want to play on the bigger side first. So like if he connects here and we capture, then the whole thing dies. Or you, another thing is to play on the side that you don't want. Okay, so we reduced him quite a bit here. And another reason this top is not as valued is because he had this move here. So he could play like a monkey jump. So this area you can see is we didn't have anyway. Okay, so he's going to cut. We're not gonna let him get away with that one because we're pretty much connected here now and we don't have any more weaknesses here. So this side is strong, so this is our weaker side. So we're just going to play nice and solid, defend our weakest side. Okay, so he tries to cut, or he lets us cut. Here I think we're a little bit too solid for him to do anything, which is why in the earlier game you want to focus on keeping your groups nice and strong and connected, so that if you do build a large area like this, you don't have as many weaknesses you need to worry about. We're strong enough to do this one. If he extends, we just connect. If he tries to Atari, we go down here, and this gets in trouble. And he's not really getting any eye shape when he does this. Okay, this move's bad because if he plays this one, then playing here would be Sente next. So if he played here, I would probably have to respond. And then he would have Sente to do something else. But now if he plays here, it's not Sente. So then I can play a move like this first, and then capture the corner. Okay, so he sneakies, that's good. So if we block here, then he gets to play this move, which is bigger. And if he pushes through, we can just block. We don't have any weaknesses we need to worry about. So we're just gonna do this one first. Put some pressure on this group, which he probably needs to defend. Or if you wanted to fight back, you can maybe capture this, but then if we kill it, then it's even more game over than it is. If he tries to wedge here, we just extend. Shouldn't really have any weaknesses because this has plenty of liberty, so even if he tried to peep here to cut us off, then we can just push through and get out. Not sure what he's trying to go for here. Capture here or here, so this is safe. This is probably the biggest weakness here, is if he plays like this peep here. If I play here, he can cut, but then I can just push through because I have enough liberties. And here I can just Atari. So he might have killed himself. But there's some weaknesses here. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and live in the corner first. Just to make sure, because he has like this Atari, and then he can Atari here. And then after that, he doesn't really have anything left. But just to be safe, we're ahead. I don't need to take any risk. And after this move, playing something around here kind of threatens the corner. Okay, so now we just need to keep his group separated. So we don't want to let him connect to these stones, so we're just going to play nice and solid here, keep them separated while staying connected. So he has some weaknesses here, so I think we're just going to push through here, which is getting rid of any eye shape he has around here. And then this group is probably dead if he lets me play here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and capture, make sure I stay nice and connected. Here he has some liberty issues. But if he goes here, I go here, connect. He can Atari here to get an eye here. I'm going to Atari here first to get rid of this eye. Here I think we're ahead enough that I could probably just have played something here and took this side, and then even if it did live, which is pretty hard to do, and then just killed the top, then trading this for this, this would be bigger. Okay, so I can connect here or here or here. So this group is very safe. So I think I'm just going to play something to get rid of his eye shape, while also threatening to cut this off. This seems like the vital point here. Okay, so just extend. He goes there. I still have this move and this move. So we're just gonna cut this off. Again, stop him from connecting here. And if he blocks here, we could cut, but then he might be able to surround us. So if he blocks here, we'll just jump out, and then if he defends the cut, he's not really making any eyes. Okay, so just defend. Just come out this way. Because when he extends here, we get to go here, which would give us this cutting point and this one. And would pretty much connect us out. And then this also has the weakness here, so we can cut it here or here. Okay, so we'll just connect solidly. Okay, so just connect, make sure we don't get cut off. Then all this is pretty much connected and alive, so we don't have to worry too much about that. And again, we'll just stay nice and connected, even though he can do something like this. But we can get rid of this eye with this move. This eye, we can get rid of this move or this move. So he shouldn't have two eyes there. Get rid of the eye. He connects, and so we'll stay connected. We'll play this one, which gets rid of this eye. Okay. Capture here to get rid of this eye. Even though technically we probably could have just Tanuki'd, because it's just one eye. But because we're so far ahead, just gonna play safe. So he jumps here. So this is connected. This is all connected. So I can either capture these stones to connect here, or I can connect here to capture these stones. And then he can't even really cut here because I can net it. And he shouldn't be able to make eyes here. So now we're just going to Tanuki. And probably the biggest move is this one. Because even if we can't kill it, we're aiming at a cut here. And then because we already connected here, we don't have to worry about him connecting here anymore. Even though we could have played this to connect anyway. We had lots of options. He goes here, which he only has a few liberties left, so we can play this one to capture it. And here he might be able to live if he plays this one. One has a few more weaknesses. Is he going to Atari here? I think he can live. Well, that was a mistake. So here he needed to play this one. So that if I play here, he goes here. I play here, he goes here, and he connects, and then it's a Seki. But here is obviously the vital point. And it's been a while, I think, since we've had a like a big moyo game. I'm not sure it's my favorite way to play, but I do like, I would say I'm a territory player, but it's not like small territories. I like big territories, if that makes sense. Because moyos are potential territory, so you have large areas where you potentially make points. I prefer to go for areas that aren't as big, but are solid. And something else I like to do is, in the opening, I like to go for influence. And then as the game goes on, I switch to more territory style. Because influence is worth more in the beginning of a game than it is at the end. At the end, influence isn't really worth anything because you need points right away. But in the opening, points right away are not as important, even though you still want some. Like this game, I didn't really have any side territory, but I had a lot of potential that he couldn't reduce very easily. Looks like he's gonna keep playing. He's gonna play endgame. He has to worry about this group now. I maybe could have done something here, but it's not needed. And this move's pretty big because this is not alive yet. Play this one. He still has to worry about eyes here. So like if I play this one and then he blocks, then I can still get rid of this eye. But if I jump in right away, he goes here, I go here, and then it's still probably dead. So now if I go here, then he just goes here. Okay, and my end game's not very good. Then I had enough that I'm just trying to end the game at this point. And this group is already dead. I'm guessing maybe he forgot. Never mind, I just messed up. Yeah, you can cut this off now. Oh, I guess he missed that too. I guess he just trusted that I knew what I was doing. But yeah, this was an Atari, so I couldn't really do that. But oh well, it worked out. Even if this lived, I'm still way ahead. That's why they say winning a one game is the hardest thing to do, because once you think I won, that's normally when you lose. So if you're playing a game and you catch yourself thinking that, catching it is the way to stop it. And then you're like, oh, I win. And then you're like, oh, wait, I need to focus. Which I fail to do sometimes, but when I played tennis, it worked really well. Okay, this is all connected. Suppose he's going after this group. Which I suppose, yeah, I'll just go ahead and connect it just to be safe. It's really not anything left in endgame. I'll just go ahead and Tanuki. So at this point, he's just giving me points here. Okay, so he could have blocked here, and then I would have went here, and then he can come back and connect if he wanted to. And here, if he lets me push here, there's some weaknesses here. And if he Tanukis, I believe I can almost just do something like this. Which I think I'm going to go ahead and do, just because he probably should have defended this. At this point, I also want him to resign. That was pretty big endgame. But I guess he knew I could live in the corner there, so he played the right way besides defending in the first place. Okay, and he resigns. And thank you for watching. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you next Sunday.